Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9, and we're playing as Italy, of course, and we're about ready to join the faction, which I believe they will then ask us to, join the war. So we are going to hopefully successfully put this off for just a few short days here by just waiting out while they go deliver the last of this mixed support regiment that I want to get down there. Trade offer from Iran, no, because we're got ready to get that trade cut off. Now let's come here. Oh, turn this on. Push this up. Turn this off. Okay, so now it's gotten a little better. Oh good, we're getting some of these elite light infantry units, which will make them, like they say, that a little better. Yeah, that'll be here very momentarily. Let's see now. What do we want to do here? Start building another armored division. We're gonna have to put a lot more, for at least for a little while, into reinforcements and whatever, because we're going to. If we do medium artillery, how big of a jump is that? Not that bad. There we go. Reasonably good. Reasonably good. Should have built all the divisions as reserve. That really helps you. It's something I forget to do. But it really helps you during peacetime because it doesn't add up as much to for needing consumer goods. Now, what we'll do here is put down this. Put these on which division? Oh, well, let's turn that and that. Add a elite light infantry. Okay, we'll do that. And now add. Oh, I should have sent them down too, but whatever. Onboard boats. Oh, well, let's also throw on that divisional headquarters. So we're not going to go down all the way down south, just to here. What do we have? Oh, put those out of here. They have shorter ranges. Get them out while we can. Yeah. We're going to drive. Nav ground crew training. Nav air ground. Oh, probably missed the boat on those, didn't we? Oh well. Oh, maybe we didn't. Oh well. Let's put those down there. Everybody down, everybody out, everybody back. Okay. Now, I'm thinking it's probably this division, I should say. No, they're all full. Let's. Should have. Okay, they've already got theirs. I'm looking to pair these with light infantry divisions. I thought we moved them here. There we go. The tan one, okay. The tan division. And, well, there we go. That division. They're not great, but hold it. This is let's. What is this division? No, that's a motorized thing. Okay. There we go. Just sort of a good stiffener of elite light infantry. And such. Now I move that down here. Let's just cycle through all these. They could use a headquarters. They already have one. They have one. They could use one, but not as well. They've got one. 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 They need to be attached to somebody. They've got one. They need to be attached to somebody. Let's form a core. Attach the core to. Oh yeah, that's the problem. They've got too many. See if we can attach that now. There we go. Still, I think within command. Oh well. Got to do this right. I want to make sure everybody gets an attachment, or being attached to a higher command. That's important. Even how bad some of these leadership things are within Italy, it's still gonna help. Okay, that looks like that. So I think it's the garrison division is the one that can best use a headquarters, because compared to that fascist one, which doesn't have one, but the fascist one just has one other type, where this has a direct fire and an indirect fire, so that way they will be better. And first corps here, Italian general. Let's see if we can do a little better than that. Mountain guy, now that's who we have. Yeah, supply guy would be alright. Like I say, it doesn't help a whole lot, but some. No, we're not going to trade outside of the Mediterranean for sure. I'm mentioning that. Let's come in here. A lot of stuff imported from everywhere. Okay. They're really going to put a dent in things, especially oil. So let's see, before we join, see if we can buy, well, hold it, just, got to try to do this right. Okay, that is very little, 41 crude. So let's see if we can get 50 crude from the Soviets. Diplomacy, Soviets, because we're still not yet in a faction. Soviet Union. Offer a trade agreement. They want. Can we buy oil? No. They're not making enough extra oil. Who in Europe might have enough oil to sell us? I don't know. Romania. Nope, they're already. Well, maybe we're just going to have to go conquer some oil. Yeah, outside. Okay, I want to stop imports coming in from America. I'll still export to America because I want to buy things like maybe rare materials from. And Britain's going to cut me off anyways, but I just want to stop this so it doesn't think I should be trying to Oh yeah, we don't want to import coal from. Man. Now, like Belgium, I'll let it go until, I mean, France will just cancel me immediately. But I'll let, and oh, Iran is also an import, yeah. Not much, but we'll stop that too. Saudi Arabia is export. Turkey, well that's, we're getting from inside here. Export, export, import from, we probably shouldn't have been doing that one. Just using up our transports. United Kingdom, these things will just stop naturally once we go to war. And coming over here to the political screen. Don't think we're going to be changing any of these, but we're going to mobilize. And so we're going to mobilize during peacetime. And as you can see here, we have needing of consumer goods 33.79, giving it more than we need, but I think we will need that very shortly. Okay. Siskari division. We're going to give it a mixed support. But now it is actually has 25 combined arms bonuses. It's actually going to be a pretty decent, can't really see the stats, but pretty decent division, all things considered. But with a little bit of hardness from the armored cars and such, so that'll be good. Hopefully what I'm going to do is I'm going to hopefully knock out these guys here. This historically, Djibouti went Vichy French, at least during the time that the Italians were still alive and kicking down here. The one sort of success that the Italians had is that they were able to take Berbera here, which is basically meaning taking British Somaliland. It was more of just an occupation. I don't know if there was any real shooting, and if there was any shooting, it was just, you know, a few minutes or whatever, and the small British garrison just gave up. They were overwhelmed. No reason to, you know, pull a Cameroon and everyone die in place. Just you know, the Italians were able to win. And so what I'm hoping to do is come in and because maybe we can take this down. I don't know. We can get these guys over here and concentrate taking out the port, and maybe there. We'll see. If it's too hard, then no. But I would sort of like to take these guys down too, and that would then allow me to hold the line here better instead of being pushed from both sides. But as you can see, just to sort of explain some of my strategy here, this is playing it smart. There's, you know, the AI would put divisions here and here. There's no point to it. I mean, there just is no point to it. Unless you were somehow thinking you were going to go on the offensive. And that'd be cool. You know, if we had a large enough force and I thought we could keep supplies flowing, you know, cool to take Kenya and move on down. I'm all for that idea. But because of the limited supplies, and I think we may get an event once we're at war with Britain and supplies are cut off, to dump a bunch of supplies into a place like Addis Ababa here after the war starts. Because if it do it now, it would just, oh, there's way too many supplies, let's send them back. But once it's cut off, they can't be sent back, so they'll be down here. So for a while, I think we'll have supplies. You know, should we just stand on the defensive? Maybe, but I would sort of like to take these just to secure my rear. But here, now, since we don't have states, thank God, we don't have state mechanisms here. You don't need to hold extraneous provinces that have no, you know, benefit. No manpower comes from here, no supplies, no resources, nothing. And since we have a nice river to hide behind, we should do that. And so I got a decent division here to hold the river line here. Got an, wish it was a little better, but I'm moving down these guys here. I don't know that try to hold up here, but got a really crappy unit here. But the reason this is a little more important is because if this gets beat and has to fall back, or wants to, or, you know, fishing in here, they can at least fall back to here. We're here, this gets cut back, you know, cut off, we can still retreat this way. Got a garrison here with a HQ, making it a little better, so that's, you know, 10.5% combined arms. with another river holding here. And again, I would sort of, you know, maybe fall back along this river, but we're holding this river as they move forward. Moving in one more unit down here. I'll hopefully get there before the British do. To hold that. Sort of a junky militia unit, but that's holding in the mountains. So they've got a ways to march across these territories. Yeah, there's a IC here, but I'm maybe good reason to try to hold up, but I'm not. I could have left some of the, you know, better units down here. Most of those better units have come up to here. They would do well down here, but they're going to lose supplies, so they can only do well for a while. So I'm just sort of hoping that between marching time and being able to hold off, retreat here, this is sort of the, in my mind, sort of the central holding point to some degree. We've got a mountain division that looks pretty good, and some militia holding there. These guys are sort of junky, but I'm sort of intending to maybe fall back along this river here. These guys are holding up here. Now we're talking a little better divisions here and here and up here. But again, everything to sort of fall back and fall back into these mountains and hopefully hold as long as we can. The main supply dump shows up is here. That'll be good. And if I can hold that, that'll continue to supply everywhere else. And we'll hold out while, like I say, those good divisions we moved up here rush to, you know, to here and hopefully open up supplies. That would be my hope. Don't know that we'll achieve that. That's sort of a big goal for me. If we can do that, this series is take northern Egypt and open up supplies while we still have one of these two ports, if not both of the ports, still in our hands. And if we have both of the ports, then we can start shipping back in some of those good divisions and supplying them and fighting here and pushing out. That's sort of the goal. These guys here, we've got them. Did I get another mixed support or motorized support? Yeah, no. But these guys here are going to just try to absorb, you know, get as much territory as we can from the French there. That's my North African strategy. Obviously, we're going to see what we can push into France here once we're at war. Okay, mechanical computing is up to level 2, and we can do some advanced tank optics and gyro sight. And of course, we have the benefits of improved mechanical computing. But let's look at tank optics. Well, we'll wait till 41. And gyro sight, I think, is also one of those. Oh, well, that's 40. How much are we? Yeah, well, a little bit. That would help out. Well, we'll see about that. Eventually, there's other things to get to. But that's good. No. No, we will export to the New World, but we're not going to import from there. Okay, so they're coming back. They're all organized up. Waiting for the war to start here. Belgium, where does Belgium want? Money. We give them money from metal. Well, can we get metal from Germany? See, if I leave Belgium alone and get metal from Germany, yeah, it's taken from German stocks. But at least Germany will get the money for it. Whether they buy anything with it or not, I don't know. Oh, no, not Greece, Germany. Yeah, they got plenty of. How much metal do I need? 50, basically. So we'll get it from them. And let Germany take the storage supplies of Belgium. And then send the. And what does Germany? No, we don't need the metal. Sorry, Germany. We just already did the deal. Okay, well. Let's see if we can unload. Find a longer ranged, preferably escorted. There we go. Now load onto those ships. Okay. Just want to transport down here. Get back as fast as you can. Luxembourg. No. No. And no. Get out there and meet up. I don't know what to do with those fascist divisions. I'm leaving them down here, but maybe occupation troops. Ah. Flying boat. These are bombers, so let's add that to them. That way they'll have a little more punch. Okay, they're coming back, so... Okay, we're gonna save this, just because if I've screwed up something, I could at least come back to this spot. Close. Accept. So, 8 million bayonets. And I guess we're at war, are we? That jumped at us straight into the war. No, but it certainly cut down our... France, no, not at war, but for some reason that cut down our need for billion goods? Okay, 8 million bayonets. Let's see, 400 manpower. We don't need that, but whatever. National 50%. National manpower, IC boost 5%, that would be nice. Until 68, so, I don't think that's going to go away just right away. But why that went down for joining the Axis, I don't know. Reinforcements, we need those because we're mobilizing. I'm about ready to go to war with you people, so no, we're not going to trade with you. Oh, Pact of Steel, that's what happened. Oh, that's great. Oh, great. So we've got Pact of Steel, and we've lost the effects of neutrality. So this is why we're getting national manpower, officer recruitment, build speed. So we've lost these effects, because we're no longer neutral. Ah, that's why. Okay. I think is why what's going on, but we're getting notified. But that's great. And supplies, research efficiency, great. Ambassador from Germany informs us that our effort to align has expired. Okay, so we're no longer spending diplomatic efforts aligning towards them that we had been. Single engine fighter prototype, good. Okay, so we're a little bit there from some of the stuff. Oh, we're going to go to war with you very soon. It's still just 8 million bayonets. Okay, well, we've lost low and we've got medium popularity. And mobile unit command and control. Which, of course, that gets us to better place. Mobile unit command and control, great. No, it's still just at 37, but for Italy, that's, I think, doing fairly well. Let's come over here and let's do Grand Battle Plan. This is the other good one to do. No, it's just, we're actually just a well, actually we have a 0.2% more, so let's throw that here because that'll just be the one that's barely functioning, but might as well take it. Okay, Schmeling KOs Lewis, what a fight. I think this is supposed to have happened before 1940. Mobile unit combined arms. Germany and forces conquer Netherlands. Okay. So let's come back up to the political flag. Oh, well, now, of course, we can see what's going on with Germany everywhere. So they kicked butt up here. Don't know. Oh, there's some Slovak units. Helped out a bit, but yeah, they kicked butt. They're moving a bunch of Cruels with the armor. Good. Moving a bunch of divisions around. Oh, they're attacking here. And here. Okay. And there. Maybe not too smart, but they're doing that. Okay, oh, that's pretty good up there. Just guarding that. Meaning it's the right sort of type of unit to be moving there. This will get whatever remnants that they thought they needed to maybe hold my border with. Interesting, they got some of these guys back here. Bunch of SSHQs they don't know what to do with. yeah, we got all these SSHQs. What are they? You know, the AI is going, what do they do? What are they for? So they're just sitting there. That's where they appear. And same with some of these HQs. Cool. It's fun to see what the AI is doing, you know, because we know what the humans sort of do. Well, I got some elite units there. I don't know exactly what, but back there, and well, looks like they're moving some of the these guys around to deal with revolt risk. That's sort of smart. So I don't know why you have a mountain division with an elite HQ sitting there doing that, but okay. Yeah, some of that's really good, some of it's not, but you know, it's the AI. Okay, and of course we've now mobilized, so we're going down. Upgrades. Okay, so now we have a lot more, well, some more production capability, a little bit more. Let's do some more fighter. Well, let's do one of those. Even if we need that. I want to do a couple of these. Yeah. Get these. These are actually fairly decent fighters. Just some others were, you know, the Supermarine Spitfire was better, but this is fairly decent, you know, all things considered. At least that's my understanding of it. Maybe some of you air power guys know better, but again, it's not like I say, it's no Spitfire, but so I guess we'll do 8 million bayonets. Italy didn't have 8 million bayonets. Now we have even more. Consumer goods are down even more. Great. Okay. Reinforcements are even less now. Mussolini had serious problems. Well, let's build a couple of coastal submarines, because again, we are in a sort of a coastal environment. And they're cheaper. Put another destroyer in production. Got some transports back now that we've cut off a lot of our overseas trade. And yeah, naval bombers. Ammunition capacity, okay, good. That's just in that. There for fighters. Again, mobilizing more and more forces, and we've not really entered combat yet. Bridging equipment, great. And we'll end that as well. Okay, these guys have made it down there, so they're now there. Holding this line. So hopefully, I'm presuming at some point they're going to maybe, but you know, I don't know, militia, regular colonial thing, this thing, they may just, oh no, I can't move that unit there, of course. They may just come up here and sort of hold the line on me. I don't know, and this militia may even hold, or if they come here, we may be able to counterattack. I don't know. But if we can, great, hold that. We're going to. But hopefully we'll be able to fall back if that is needed. Now, okay, 2, that's not so bad. 68, that's bad. 8, that's not so bad, but still thing. Germany. Let's buy in 68, so buy all the coal we can in one go. Germany was a coal powerhouse. And what tech just appeared? Assault weapons. Okay, that is these assault weapons. Yes, I know it's 40 and we could research that, but well, let's throw in another African unit while we can. We gotta be holding that Eritrea province. A little surprised they haven't called me to arms yet. I don't want to go, but I'm prepared to go. Okay, Sweden. We give them fuel for money. I don't think we need money that bad. Yugoslavia, money for metal. Okay. I do sort of want to use Costa Rica now. Conquer you at some point. Just flat out conquer you. Okay, warhead infusing torpedoes. And we'll do guidance. Next, keep improving those. And let's see what sort of minor breakthrough. Well, good. And that pushed something over the top. What did it push over the top? Infantry support weapons. Okay, good. Machine gun focus battalions. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Italians had terrible machine guns. And the worst machine gun as designed ever in the history of mankind. I think this may be a decent place to talk about them for a minute. You know, we're getting ready for the war. That's sort of why it's a decent place to talk about it. We just saw machine gun support battalions. Don't know a whole lot about it, but the Ravelli machine gun was sort of Italy's heavy machine gun. Again, I don't know a lot about it right off the top of my head. I think it was a World War I based machine gun, meaning their primary sort of heavy machine gun, water-cooled machine gun. I know it needed to be highly oiled, and I think maybe it had an oiler set up to oil the ammunition as it went into the gun. If I'm remembering correctly, I may not be. Like this little oil that would slowly flow down onto a little brush as the ammo goes into the the feed tray, I think, but I know it needs to be highly oiled. Oil and dirt don't go well together in machines of any type. They just don't go well together. And all battlefields are dirty. I don't know of a single clean one. Maybe if they ever have a war in Antarctica on the ice, it'll be the first clean battlefield that we'll have a battle on, of any sort of size. So it doesn't do well in battlefields. So like if you're going to shoot machine guns, I don't know, in a hospital room or some other super clean environment, that would be a really good place, really good machine gun for that. But that's not where you need to shoot a machine gun. So it doesn't do so well. And then deserts, and I've never been there, but I'm reliably informed that the deserts out here aren't like the deserts that I'm used to. My deserts in Southern California are sand. There's a lot of sand everywhere. What I understand is, and maybe it's a little bit more out here, but I think it's out here too. Is yeah, there's sand, but it's also sort of like they have this like talcum powder kind of sand dust. It's just minuscule, minor. So it's like talcum powder landing all over your oiled parts on your machine gun. It's not going to do very well. It's going to do even worse in the desert. So this was a very bad machine gun. Now this isn't the worst machine gun ever devised by mankind. Now, so you got to picture this. Somebody came up with this other machine gun, developed it. Developing, an individual in a company, got to look at, oh wow, this would be a good idea. Now maybe it was an idea of an army person that told them an arms company to build this machine gun, build it this, with this sort of way, and that could be a thing. And so the company says, well, you want it like this? Well, okay, you sure you want it like this? Yeah. Are you absolutely sure? Yeah. I don't know. So I don't know how it could have gone, but I can't imagine. I literally can't imagine who could have possibly thought this other machine gun was a good idea. I'm serious. If I was an Italian soldier, if I ever met the guy, I would want to shoot him in the head. Now, I'm not an Italian soldier, and I'm sure it saved very many American and British lives, so hooray. And this was a machine gun developed before World War II, so it was a World War II, machine gun, not a World War I machine gun. And I'm sort of blanking on the name of the machine gun. It's a bipod light machine gun. And it is, it doesn't function very well. I don't know that it's functioned any better or worse than the Ravelli, how reliable it is. But it doesn't necessarily function really well. It's not known for really well function, but that really doesn't matter. It just, sort of like, the machine gun doesn't function very well. Who cares? Because the person who, or committee, or whatever, but whoever thought that this was a good idea, it's a light machine gun, bipod, sort of like a Bren gun, but it has one really, really brilliant, or whatever the monumentally stupid, maybe that would be the term, difference than a Bren gun. The magazine, on a magazine on a Bren gun, you take it off, and then you put in a fresh one, and you fire it, and you take it off, and you put in a fresh one. Okay. All machine guns, except for this one machine gun, either work that way, or you have a belt. That the belt, you put in the belt, and it fires through the belts. And good ones, you actually have it that you can hook another belt to the back of the belt, so you don't have to feed in a new belt. It just automatically keeps firing, and you just like the Vickers and the Maxim guns were designed so that they had a little attachment at the end of the belt and at the beginning of the belt, so they could attach to, as you're sort of getting low on the belt, you could just, well before it goes into the machine gun, last like 30, 50 rounds. Like as you're constantly firing, I could keep going for half an hour, but as you're firing that way, you just keep attaching belts. So it could keep shooting that machine gun, and it's a nice water-cooled machine gun. Again, hours. Literally, they tested the early Maxim guns for hours, constantly just attaching belt after belt after belt after belt after belt. And these belts were 250 round belts. It was sort of standard at the time for them, so that they just kept attaching one, so there was no pause. It was just constantly firing. So all machine guns, and basically to this day, all machine guns either have a belt. Now the Americans, they like disintegrating links, meaning as you fire the bullets going through the belt, the links all fall apart, and it's, I mean, you can sort of attach them there, but it's not real quick and easy to attach the links to it. You can. I haven't done it a little bit. I've attached machine gun links by hand, and it's not fast for me. Maybe if I was more motivated as a soldier, I could do that. So normally you had to, once you're done with the belt, you normally stuck in a fresh belt. That's how the Americans sort of worked it. But still, you're attaching a new fresh belt in going in. Well, the Italians, whoever this person was, thought, I don't know, maybe, and here I'll be generous. The soldier might lose the magazine for the machine gun. And then what is he going to do if he lost the magazine for the machine gun? And maybe you're starting to get the hint. The magazine for the machine gun. Not a magazine for the machine gun. The magazine for the machine gun. So why don't we do something really brilliant? No, what's the opposite? Incredibly stupid. And permanently attach the magazine to the machine gun so that there is no, I repeat, no practical way to detach this magazine. And in the soldiers, they never detached it. You could theoretically disassemble it. I mean, it was, you can take the parts apart. But what it was is it was a side magazine. Some other machine guns did have side magazines. You have too many side magazine go. The more bullets you have on the side, the more side heavy the gun gets, and it's harder to shoot. So there's a nice sturdy magazine on there. It's not a flimsy one. It's sort of a nice sturdy metal box. It's fairly heavy. So you can have maximum 20 rounds is what they have in it there. So you hit a button. The magazine sort of swings out. It's permanently attached. It swings out to the side. Swings out. And it's attached to the magazine. You can't take it off. So what you do is you get 4 stripper clips from the rifles, and you stick one up there at a time. Go 5 rounds in, 5 rounds in, 5 rounds in, 5 rounds in. There's your 20 rounds. Click it close. I think that's about 20. Maybe that's only 10. I don't know. But you're done. Oh, now we have to flip open the magazine again and load in 4 more stripper clips. That's, of course, and probably you did have lots of stripper clips if you had Italian ammunition, because that's how it came in the field standard, meaning you didn't, when it was delivered in boxes attached to stripper clips. They didn't just hand out loose ammo. It was handed out in stripper clips. And that's the way it was handled in the mag pouches. But theoretically, you could load this one at a time, so it's 20 rounds. So this is a monumentally stupid idea. Just the basic idea that you could only shoot 20 rounds at a time, and then you have to reload the gun by hand from stripper clips to the magazine. So you can't, just think if you had 2 of them. While one person is shooting, another person could be reloading the magazine. But no, you have to stop the whole function of the gun and reload the magazine. You can't even have one guy, like, say, repositioning the gun, whether crawling or running with the gun, and having another guy either crawling or running side beside him while they're doing, because since you can't be shooting it, might as well try to reposition, trying to reload that magazine. No, you have to get into position and then open the door, open the swing thing up and start reloading the magazine. You can't be doing anything else. So, if you just because now a monumentally stupid few is like, say, 4 magazines for a machine gun. But at least if you had something like that, you could have a couple of guys hanging out doing nothing else but hand loading magazines, instead of shooting at the enemies with their rifles or whatever else they might be doing. So you could at least sort of kind of keep ammo flowing to that machine gun. Nope. The Italians decided, you got 20 rounds, it's all you need. You got 20 rounds, and then you're out of the war for, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute. How quickly were you? And so you're laying down. This isn't like, oh, we're in a bunker with sandbags and it's thick and we're sort of sitting comfortably on a chair and we're just looking through a small sort of shooting port and we're shooting the gun and we're out. So now we comfortably reload the magazine. No, we're out in the desert, laying down in the very flat desert, and maybe there's somebody next to me that has the ammo ready in his hands, but we're laying down out in the desert, and so I run dry on the gun. I open the gun up. Maybe he's sort of sitting on the side of me to load it in, but maybe not. He has to hand me the stripper clips, and I got to load them, all while the battle's going on around you. Artillery and mortars are firing at you. The enemy's shooting their machine guns that are function very well in the desert. Bren guns wonderful for the desert. Considering no gun that's a machine works well in the desert. I mean, you finally get to sort of the AKs later on, but nothing's terribly great. But still, nice Enfield rifles with their 10-round magazines on the Brits. They're just having fun shooting at you all the time. And so all these bullets and all this stuff is going on, and you're loading your machine gun out, sort of, hiding behind a 5-inch high rock that's 4 inches wide or something that you sort of decided to drop down behind it. That's like it, and it's like pancake smooth, and you're trying to load. Just think of the stress and the speed that you're trying to do this, and you're fumbling. And so if you got up and moving around, and you don't have Luigi sitting next to you that has the ammunition in his hand, once you fire you empty it out, you've got the ammunition on your pouch, so you open your magazine out, then you got to reach back somewhere where you can't see because you're laying flat on the ground, pull out a stripper clip, and hopefully not spill 3 or 4 on the desert that you're going to just lose. Pull out a stripper clip, load it, fill them in because there's a nice little bracket, and you just push them in your thumb. Take that little piece of metal tin thingy, throw it away, reach in and grab another one. So you can sort of, I'm not over exaggerating this really at all. And I'm sure that there were some really cool Italian guy who could do this really fast. And I'm sure there were a few, but it's monumentally stupid. So how in the hell can you think of going into a world war and this is your machine gun? Now, it would have been fairly easy, shall we say, to take a Dremel tool, or maybe even a Dremel tool on a type of thing as in a machine tool, and sort of cut away the bracket or the hinge parts there from there, and stick in a little indentation, and then have a magazine that has a little springy thing that just sort of goes clip into that. I mean, how easy would that have been to have a 20-round detachable magazine and give every machine gunner, 8 magazines? Because a lot of nations didn't give lots of magazines out to their light machine gunners. Because, again, most ammunition came on stripper clips. They often had a little, and I've got them for some of my guns, even, sort of modern ones, little sort of guides that just drop over a magazine. And, again, you can use stripper clips in real quick into the magazine so you don't have to load them one by one by one. And so you can do that and load them up pretty quick. And so you can have a guide or two. They're little light metal pieces stuck somewhere on your gear, and you have the magazines, and you have a buddy who's carrying a few extra magazines, but you have some mag pouches. So you can work this all out really easy. But no, the Italians went into the war with this machine gun, and I'm sorry, it just slipping my mind the exact name and model of this Italian light machine gun. And this was basically the only light machine gun the Italians had. Now, the Italians had a real brilliant, Breda made a real brilliant submachine gun that actually was very good. Sort of the versions of it went on to serve well after the war in the Italian service, and really good. And Breda pistols, that for the time period, really nice guns, and they functioned really well. But that light machine gun. Well, on this note of the worst possible machine gun designed by man, there may be a worse functioning one. That would be the Show of France of World War One. That you were lucky if you could get a bullet out of it. Fire one round fire one round and then manually load in a second round. But there's some thought, this was a real condition of the gun, but there's some thought that maybe this was the American experience with the Show. I think it's show shot or something in French, but the Americans call it the Show. It's spelled like CHAT or something like that, but the U.S. called it the Show. But maybe it's more the function that these were surplus used all to hell guns by the French army, and when the Americans showed up, they said, "Oh, here's some machine guns for you." Junk basically by that time. So there's maybe thought that the Show really wasn't as bad as some writers, and people actually, people recorded, how bad it was to shoot. And so I'm not over exaggerating the idea that it could be slower to shoot actual bullets out of it than out of a Springfield rifle, because a Springfield rifle you could reliably function it, by hand, by working the bolt. The Show you couldn't necessarily fire it, You got a round chamber and pull the trigger to go off, but you wouldn't necessarily properly go all the way back, strip off another round, and load it. It could easily jam up, and you'd have to take the magazine out, clear the jam, put the magazine in it, and then try to get it to chamber another round. So you couldn't like fire, you know, even like hand operate. You have to take the gun apart and put it back together that way to get another bullet in. But that could just be bad magazines and bad, way worn out guns and way worn out springs and other problems that are just, you know, that had been beat to hell before the Americans got them, and then examined them, you know, tried to use them and did use them in combat, because that's what they had. But you know, very not exaggerated, very real problems. But again, that may be just bad examples of them as opposed to a bad design. But then, of course, we can see guns that I'm sure had equally number of bullets gone through them in time, like the Bren guns or whatever of later time periods, and continue to function. So it wasn't that it was a cheap stamped machine gun that could wear out easy compared to some other things. So that may be the worst functioning gun, but at least it's designed wasn't as bad design concept and put out of the Italian light machine gun. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. I thought we were going to get to the war this time, but my talking too much stalled that out. Sorry. Hopefully next episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. Subscribe if you haven't. And of course, please post comments, corrections, suggestions. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.